I swear to God, man, if they don't release these figures in 2026, man, I'm going to go online and complain about it. Today, we're getting into my WWE Mattel wish list for 2026. These are just figures or looks of characters or certain things that I want to see. Now, I want to preface this with any first time in the line characters, any brand new blood into the line, some talents that we have never seen from Mattel, such as, this past year we got Coco Beware and King Kong Bundy came back. That's not a first time in the line, but you know what I'm saying. We had Jesse Ventura and we had a lot of these great characters for the first time in the line. Anybody like that is automatically on the list. So if you don't hear me say somebody that's already been created before, just know they are there. Let's get into it. Let's start off with Ultimate Editions because those are probably the most important, right? I'm going to start things off with two characters, and I think these are two that we will see in some shape, form, or fashion. It's going to be Penta and Rey Fenix, and I put these guys together because I could see them most definitely putting these guys in not a two-pack, but in the same set, right? Ultimate Edition Series 33 or whatever the hell it is. I could see them putting both of these guys side by side. We saw these in the AEW Supreme line, and they were two of the best figures that Jazzwares has made. And I'm pretty sure Magic was the designer on both of those figures, and they were incredible. Those two figures blew me away. I know that Jazzwares and AEW figures aren't perfect by any means, but that Penta Supreme and that Rey Fenix Supreme are very, very good. I was blown away by the quality. They had even the sculpted pads into the butterfly joints of the figure. It was just a lot of attention to detail, and anytime you put out Penta, anytime you put out Phoenix, they're going to be some of the best figures of the year, and I think that in 2026, I want to see Ultimate Editions of these guys. I think we talk about John Cena and Cody Rhodes and CM Punk and Rey Mysterio, these guys that get all these figures. I think in 2026, Penta is probably going to be that guy. We're going to see him pumped out into the top picks, into the main line, into the Ultimate line. They're going to figure out a way to get this guy into as many lines as possible because he's going to sell, because he is kind of the new quote-unquote Rey Mysterio, if you will. He's going to be so toyetic. His figures are going to stand out. They're going to sell well, and I cannot wait to review the Defining Moments figure. But I've just put that on my wish list. Penta and Rey Fenix Ultimates. I think those are easy layups. Point blank at the basket. I think we got to get those. Let's move on to the next figure, man. This was on my wish list for a couple years now, and it's coming back, man. 2007 John Cena. This is really, it doesn't even have to be 2007 necessarily. I think that would be best, but you give it, we are getting the new Ultimate torso on John Cena with that heel John Cena coming soon, the heel turn from Elimination Chamber. We already know we're getting that Ultimate. That torso is perfect for going back in the well and getting some of these John Cena looks we haven't seen. And I know John Cena, a lot of people are John Cena out, right, from this 2025 year, and we're going to rank every 2025 Cena release at the end of the year. I'm going to make that a video. I think that would be a fun one, but 2007 specifically in the green or camo shorts would be beautiful. You could do his Wars with Umaga. You could do the gear from WrestleMania 34 Elite, from his WrestleMania 23 matchup with Shawn Michaels and the rematches. There's a lot of great quality there, and I would really like to see 07 Cena. We don't get enough green short Cena. We've seen one, and it was a terrible figure. Just egregious. They could redo that entire attire. You could go back and do the double white bands versus Umaga. We're getting Ultimate Edition Umaga, so why not give us Ultimate Edition Feud John Cena right there to pair with it? I just think it makes the most sense. But let's move on to the next one. Ultimate Edition Liv Morgan. This one I thought for sure was coming, and actually now that I'm thinking about it, wasn't there one already? Actually, I'm going to put up the little grayed out shot. Didn't they show us a head sculpt or something? I made my list and I was like, damn, how have they not announced that? But now that I'm thinking about it, hold on, let me go double check this. So if you go to the Ultimate Edition, it doesn't show it, but maybe it's an Elite. Maybe it's an Elite Liv Morgan that's coming. Remember they changed her hair or something. It's going to have removable hair or something. I swear to goodness I'm not tripping. I can't find a photo of it, but I'll put it up on screen if I can find it in post. Anyways, I want to see an Ultimate Liv Morgan. There it is. I finally found it. So I think it was the Chucky gear maybe from something like that. Yeah, man, we got to see an Ultimate Edition Liv, and if this isn't an Ultimate Edition, they got to do an Ultimate Liv. It just makes the most sense, man. She was a prominent character for many years now on WWE television. You get her into, the Dom storyline and everything. It just, like, what do we do? And the Elite 119 was also dreadful. That was a dreadful figure. Head sculpt looked nothing like her. They just retooled her Elite 69 head sculpt, basically. It just wasn't good, man. Not good. Liv Morgan deserves better figures. Her figures, she really doesn't have a good lineup, man. From the neck down, they're okay, but none of her head sculpts have really hit the home run. They have not hit a mark. Kind of the modern day Becky Lynch, if you will. You remember back in the day when they could not hit a Becky Lynch head sculpt for nothing, man. And now, finally, maybe in 2026, we can see that happen for Liv Morgan. But let's move on. An Ultimate Edition or an Elite, I really don't care. I want to see 2009 Psycho Randy Orton, man. This is just an easy one to do. And honestly, you don't even have to retool stuff. I think that, the people that grew up with Psycho Randy Orton, man, those people are coming into the collecting age. And I think you could grab them, man. That figure would go viral. People on TikTok and YouTube Short, people would love that figure, man. Fans of WWE that see that figure, Psycho Bald Randy Orton. I've made fix-ups of this. It's legitimately the Elite 9 or the Elite 12 Randy Orton. All you do is just take all the paint off the head, and it's that pissed off Randy Orton. You could make it into the Ultimate Edition. It's such an easy, using the same formula. You don't even have to retool anything. You just take the current Randy Orton that you have and put, bald head sculpts. You could even don't take the dentist mouth head sculpt from his Ultimate. That head sculpt's dreadful. Don't use that one. They need to retool some. They need to remake some Randy Ortons, because there's some damn good ones out there they could do. This one just seems like an easy one. People would love to see an 09 Randy Orton Psycho there, but let's move on to the last one. The only real Ultimate Edition that I can think of that I would really want is a new Demon Finn, which we've touched on. And I point blank asked Steve about this multiple times. I've talked to them off the record about this. It doesn't seem like this is something that's even in the cards right now, or at least it's not on the radar. We did mention it. We pitched it. And it was something that's kind of, okay, do you want Penta or do you want a new demon? You know what I mean? And it's just these different cost battles they have to battle. And, it is just one of those things. I would love to see it. It's on my list. It's high on my priority list. I'm going to push it every time I see these guys. I'm going to push it to get us a new Demon Ultimate. Take the Ultimate Edition Finn torso that they gave the Judgment Day Finn and then just put it on some trunks and legs. You could easily do this, and I don't really care what demon it is. I mean, WrestleMania 39 seems like the layup pick, but you never know. I would really love to see it, man. And I can add on to this, new Finn Balor head sculpts in 2026. This man has had the same head sculpts, and I know he got a new one on his Ultimate Edition, the smiley one, but he's smiling like, dude, we need a pissed off Judgment Day, pissed off, nice beard and haircut Finn Balor. He hasn't had a new damn head sculpt in forever. They're giving him these just freaking 4 or 5 year old head sculpts. It's just crazy. We gotta see new Finn Balor heads, and I'd love a new demon, but I'm not gonna hold my breath on it. Let's move on to the elites here, man. And for my elites starting out, again, I don't have a long list here, but I think these are quality picks, and you can let me know. And again, any first time in the line makes sense, but for me, Joe Hendry, he did apparently sign with WWE, and if that's the case, man, you got to pump out that WrestleMania gear. We're already getting a basic of it for Randy Orton. Give us Joe Hendry to match it in elite figure form. Nobody wants a damn main event Joe Hendry, man. We want an elite Joe Hendry. Hell, make it ringside exclusive. Actually, don't make it ringside exclusive. Make it at my house exclusive. Just put Joe Hendry into the elite line. It's an easy release. It makes the most sense. That is something that's been on my list for a while now, and I think it's actually possible now. I think we're going to get him. I'm positive we're going to see Joe Hendry in elite figure form, at least in a render or a prototype before the end of the year next year. So hopefully that'll happen. Let's move forward. Blake Monroe. I know we got Mariah May from AEW and Jazz Wares. That figure, bless its heart, man. Bless its heart. The paint apps were all squiggly on the head sculpt. They were just not very good, and I think they could really do her up nice and put her in the elite line here. And I don't want to see a main event. I do not want to see a main event here. All the women have the exact same mold in the main events. They got to give this woman an elite, man. We need to see an elite Blake Monroe, and I think they could knock that out of the park. Hopefully that will happen, and that is something that I'm requesting here this year is a Blake Monroe elite. She's mainly on a priority because the Mariah May figure was such a miss, and I think, you could even take that Blake Monroe and pair it with your Toni Storm or something like that. I don't know, but let's move on to the next one, which I'm really not holding my breath on. It's kind of sad because the aura of Aleister Black needs to be studied, man. I mean, this guy, do you remember back in the day, Black and Gold NXT, this guy had unlimited potential. Everybody was blowing up their Target stores trying to find his NXT Elite, and I had to make just tons of favors to try and get that Aleister Black Elite. Finally coming through with it. We had the Elite 85. We had, the Chase Elite 85 figure. There was even, was it Elite 79 or something like that too, Aleister Black? I would love to see him in Ultimate Edition form, but again, it does not seem, I feel like this guy's just, I don't even know what happened, man. He had so many opportunities, and it's just like they never grasped him by the horns or anything like that. We never got it, and Aleister Black is just such a toyetic guy, and I would love to see him in elite figure form, especially with a newer, that new torso they gave the top pick CM Punk? That's a perfect torso you could give Malakai. You could upgrade him. They always gave him the Daniel Bryan torso. There's just so much potential there, and the figure would be incredible. I would love to see an Ultimate, but even an Elite would be great to see an updated Aleister Black, double-jointed stuff. We got the Supremes and the AEW figures, which were great, but I would love to see Mattel take another stab at Aleister Black. That would be great. Next up is going to be Brock Lesnar, but not only return Brock, this is what I would like. Like, I know the moment of the return is great, but he wasn't wearing the Brock Lesnar skull belt buckle. I want to see the Brock Lesnar skull belt buckle in figure form, and so I would like them to do one of those mashups where it's not completely accurate. I think he was wearing a skull on his belt buckle when he returned at SummerSlam. I would like to see them give him the actual Brock Lesnar logo on his belt buckle and then just push that out. Give him a new jean sculpt that covers up the ostrich boots or whatever. Give him the cowboy hat and the shirt. And then put that's with the new head sculpt, right? You got the new head sculpt in there for the updated Brock. They're going to give it to us at some point. We're going to get this in figure form. But I want to see the belt buckle. I think that is such a great look for an action figure for him to have, the sleeveless tank. He's got the belt buckle right there with his tattoo/logo. It'd be a beautiful figure. I can already picture it in my brain. So you give him the updated head sculpts. It'd be a great figure. It'd be a fantastic figure. I would love to see that. And even new jeans and stuff like that, and make him bigger and taller than his, previous Farmer Brocks and the Elite 3-pack. There's some good stuff here, man. I would love to see that in 2026. And then the last Elite I have right here is going to be Ethan Page, but specifically, I know we've already gotten a couple Ethan Pages. We're also getting a basic of him coming in 2026. I want to see the Canadian version of the North American Championship, and I think that's going to come down the line, right? I think that would have to be just such an easy thing to plug into an Elite lineup, and they could give it to us. So I don't think you're going to see that. It stinks, but most releases, I don't know, I guess if you had to compare them, it's probably 50-50 on current day talent versus throwback talent, because you have the Legends line, the Monday Night Wars, the Greatest Hits, the From the Vault, all that stuff, and then you have the main Elite line, which seems to be taken over as a current day line. I could see them putting Ethan Page again in there. It's been a couple waves now since we saw Ethan Page, but he did get a chase, and usually when they give you a chase, man, it means that you are not going to see that talent for a while now. I'd like to do a study on that, by the way. I bet we could do a study on that if you went back to the first chase in the main Elite line and how long it was until we got another one of those characters. They tend to give it to the person they're not going to give an Elite to for a while, and I'd like to fact check that, but Ethan Page with the Canadian Championship or the North American title would be really sweet. I mean, I guess you could put it in a battle pack or something, but I don't really know what you would do there. I mean, that would probably make for a cooler figure if you gave him like a suited figure with somebody and put that championship in there. That might work, but I don't know if that would work. I don't know. I feel like a lot of the battle packs are very mainstream or they're usually current day talent or really popular throwback talent or flashback talent. You can let me know if I'm wrong right there, but it just seems like a lot of battle packs or main event showdown packs are typically with stars of the show or flashback names that are very, very popular. But maybe I don't know ball right there, man. But, I mean, last but not least, in 2026, I think the common thing we're going to see is more unique sculpts. We've seen since Magic came into the line or came back to WWE and the Mattel team here, I think that we're going to see more unique sculpts. I mean, you could go down the checklist of all the new unique things we saw at Comic-Con, and I think that's going to continue moving forward. You got the new Roman torso, the new CM Punk torso, the new John Cena Ultimate torso, the sculpted boots on the Shawn Michaels Ultimate Edition. There's a lot of new things that are getting pushed into the line, and I think you're going to continue to see that as the year goes on because, more and more figures are going to come out, more and more characters are going to come out, and that's something I hope to see as a trend moving forward. And then your obvious picks that are always on my list, right, are going to be the Finn Balor head sculpts that, we continue to not get. I would like to see this face right here for Finn Balor, like a pissed off, stern, nice haircut, nice beard, easy money, Judgment Day head sculpt. I know the Elite 82 was close, but it's old now. We got to update that thing. And then you have Roman Reigns, of course. His head sculpts need to continue to improve. I thought the top picks was a step in the right direction. I think the fade was nice. Likeness was weird. I don't know. I still really love the top picks Elite. I just felt like the likeness was just odd on that figure for some reason. And then you have the Kurt Angle boots from the early 2000s. The red, white, and blue boots, some of the best boots in the game. I really want, the next time they go back to Kurt Angle, please, go, any Elite, I know we just got another Ultimate of him. We're probably not going to get another Ultimate of Kurt Angle for a while. If they give him another Elite, and it's from the early 2000s, give him these boots, man. I need to see these boots in the line with a good gear. Need to see it, but that is pretty much my list of 2026. You know, again, a lot of these things, man, it's like a lot of the same stuff. I would love to see these things. These are just things that I was excited about to see in 2026. I know there's a lot more things that they could possibly do. Like, again, like at Comic-Con, they surprised me with Steve Blackman. That blew my mind. He's been on my list for years, and I don't mention him because, you know, they've been on the list for so long, and you forget about him, and then bam, they release him. You're like, oh my God, yes, this is terrific. So these are just those things that I wanted to touch on here today, man. But I'd love to know what your number one is down in the comment section below for 2026, man. Let me know all those things. But I'm getting the hell out. I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a blessed one. I'll catch you guys later.